Hi everyone, welcome to episode 7 of my podcast, Questions My Mom Asked Me About Rome. I hope everyone's enjoying it so far and learning lots. Tonight's episode is going to be about my armor. My mom asked me about was the Roman army's discipline. And if you been to places or seen pictures of, say, Masada, Britannia, or anywhere in Europe that the Romans were, you'll see what their legions were capable of. So, question 1. Was the Roman army paid, as opposed to an army that was constricted as needed from locals, as done in Europe during the Middle Ages? Question 2. How were they trained? What did their training consist of? Question 4. Who was their driving force that moved the army from traditional as needed to an standing army? Number 5. How many hours in a day did they train? Number 6. What did their training consist of? Number 7. What was the average length of time spent in the army? And question number 8. What did they get when they retired? So, question number 1. Was the Roman army paid? Answer was eventually. Originally, it was peasant force, just who basically just had to supply themselves with weaponry. But eventually, here's an example. During the siege of Veii, the Rome's northern neighbor, they had to actually pay the soldiers for the first time, and the Senate was not really happy with that because they were expecting complete loyalty to the state. Question number 2. How were they trained? So when the legionary joins the army or joins the legion, roughly sent into our militaries, the different countries' militaries are boot camp. So while in training, they were trained to wear weighted backpacks, about 40 pounds each, and fought with weapons. They were heavy, so they very heavy, made of wood, and to be able to maneuver quickly. And they were also trained to walk at least 26.2 miles in a day or more at quick pace, and which was impressive. And not only that, they were also trained to build, and more build. If you can see throughout Europe, Italy, France, Britannia, Spain, the Balkans, Anatolia or Asia Minor, Syria, Egypt, you see the roads that the Romans built. Question number 4. Who was the driving force that moved the army from the traditional as needed to a standing army? During the war in Africa, or including Cisalpine Gaul, northern Italy, the army was starting to run into manpower issue because during that time they were relying on soldiers who's able to afford their equipment. Gaius Marius, who became the consul, realized what was going on, removed that requirement, and basically gave every legionary their equipment. Every legionary got recognized as have their own equipment, and he also paid them for the first time. Look up, guys, if anyone's bored or anything, look up Gaius Marius and look at his interesting period. It's quite fun. Question number 5. How many hours in a day did they train? They trained basically from sun up to sundown, and also they practiced digging camps, or at least keeping watch in the camps, make sure no enemy mucks around. So what did their training consist of? Their training consists of walking, running, sword fights, shields, running, building, basically a repeat for 6 months. So essentially like the World Military Boot Camp. And what was the average length of the time spent in the army? The average time that for Praetorian Guard, who guarded the emperor, 16 years, then they could retire with very, very hefty bonuses. The auxiliaries, nearly about 27 years, and legionaries, 26 years. Which part of the army you're in? If you're in the Praetorian, you get the special part of retiring. Question number 8. What did they get at retirement? Other than retirement and hefty bonus, they become a Roman citizen, which honestly is probably the best commodity out there. Because who else would want to be a citizen of Rome? A Roman citizen actually has a couple better rights than those who aren't. And they're brought before a trial, before the governor. They could go talk to Caesar, and hopefully they'll be a good Caesar, and not like Nero. Try to use Christianity for blame to burn down burn down Rome. So if anyone wants to look at this or read more information, just go online and read about it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me on YouTube. And also, if anyone wants to learn more Rome's legions, I recognize this book, Legions of Rome, Definitive History of Every Imperial Roman Legion. I highly recommend it. You get more information in here about the legions, of the Imperial Army. I recommend it. I hope everyone enjoys this podcast, and have a good night. And if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to message me on YouTube, and I can record it and answer your question. Alright, have a good night.